Yo guys, I'm Jay Beershank. Welcome to the woods. I grew up in these woods, very, very close to my heart. It looks pretty overgrown now, but as a boy I'd run around here with my dog named Kiro. We'd run around all day long. I'd have a machete in one hand, a spliff in another, and we'd just be going all day long. Rest in peace, Kiro. Anyway, we're here for another edition of book reviews, and today, you know, I just finished this book today. I've been reading it for about a week and a half, and it's easily become one of my favorite books I've ever read. It'll be on my recommendation list to anyone who ever asks me for them. And it's an extremely sophisticated novel, but it's so sophisticated that it's so simple and hilarious. True wit, true wit. And that's Voltaire Candide. I don't necessarily know how to pronounce it, but there it is. Voltaire is who wrote it. Name of the book is Candide, also the name of the main character. This book, it's the oldest book I've ever read to date. I believe it was written in 1760s, so about 100 years earlier than anything I've read before, like Dostoevsky or Dickens. And it is so impressive, you guys, because contrary to the wit that I found through novels like by Dostoevsky is very wordy and very lengthy, and he describes things amazingly. If you've watched my other reviews, you'll know that I love Dostoevsky and have massive amounts of respect and admiration for him. But Voltaire, the way in which he goes about this story, it just all happens so quick. You know, the scenes are not overly described, the characters are not overly described, and I don't think that other authors overly describe things, but they, you know, they choose their wording so carefully, but then they choose more words carefully and more words carefully. Voltaire, he has so much stuff happen in 160 pages, but it's like so concise and so perfectly written. It is just amazing. This book is a satire, and it is an exemplary piece of satire. It is the most sophisticated, hilarious novel I've ever read. I was captivated the whole time. Like, I just wanted to keep reading because it is so simple. There are layers upon layers upon layers, though. Like, just reading the book in itself, just for surface level, you would think, oh, it's a good, funny book. But when you start to realize, like, how smart Voltaire is and how well he uses the words and how he allows the story to progress, it's amazing. And Candide's journey, it's the satire of the idea. So Voltaire didn't enjoy and didn't respect in his time how everyone was going about this philosophy that all things happen for the best possible reasons, and, you know, kind of like everything is happening for this higher order and it's all for the best. And so throughout this book, there's a lot of philosophy. It's a philosophical work. It's a satire of that philosophy. But, you know, he does it in such a way that the whole story is kind of constructed to, like, look at that idea from different views, and it's a tragedy. You know, he's just going through all these horrible things that are happening to him and all the people around him, but the underlying precedent is that no, everything is happening for the best, and, you know, everything is great. I have this idea that I go by of divine orchestration, which is a similar idea, but it's not everything is for the best. But when I say reality is divinely orchestrated, I think of it more as, you know, things are happening the way in which they are meant to happen. Now, is it for the best of everything? That's, you know, that's an idea that's tackled within this book, and so you can read it if you're curious. But yeah, this book has easily become one of my favorites. I would highly, highly, highly recommend it. Extremely sophisticated, hilarious. I was laughing my butt off the whole time. And the story is amazing. It's really fun to go on the adventure with them, and the ideas that are tackled through each perspective and each scenario they find themselves in are as deep as you want them to be, And you know, the wittiest of people, the most wise among us, you know, I feel like words can inspire the uninspired, but for the inspired, you know, at the end of the day, they know that the easiest way to find bliss and the only way to find bliss is going back to the garden, which is exactly what they do in the end of this book. They go back to the garden. Now, call me a dramatist, but I equated that to going back to the Garden of Eden, back to that, you know, simplistic place of work and dedication and responsibility and nature and beauty. And it was just so beautiful because at the end of all the philosophical ideas they talked about, at the end of all the rich, you know, people they met and the riches and the tragedies and everything, at the very end of the book, the whole gang just decides, fuck it, we're gonna work in the garden. And they just work in the garden, and like they stop talking about all this lofty idealism, all this philosophical stuff, because the wisest of us know, keep your hands busy and it keeps your mind from thinking too much. And you know, philosophy helps the uninspired, but for the inspired, it's just live your life and enjoy it and laugh and hold it with grace and be grateful for the opportunity. I love this book. Check it out, seriously. It's well worth it, guys. Peace, enjoy yourselves. If you enjoy the reviews, please give me a subscribe and tell your friends, give the video a like, and I'll catch you guys next time on whatever video comes next. Enjoy.